Hello and welcome to this week's Q&A. I'm Dr. Evan Anton, and this week I decided I want to share with you guys a little bit more about myself, and so I've picked 50 questions that I want to answer just so you guys can get to know me a little bit better. So let's get started. My name is Evan Anton. Maybe you guys already know that. My heritage, my background is Russian, Spanish, Czechoslovakian, Irish, and then some other little bits of European countries, but kind of just a white boy in America. My hometown is Overland Park, Kansas. You've been there, you love it there, don't you? He does, trust me. My favorite animal is the crocodile. I also love cobras as well, king cobras in particular. What's my gym routine like? I do mostly weight training, and so I just divide that among different muscle groups, and it kind of varies from week to week, but that's pretty much what I'm doing when I'm in the gym. If I could have one superpower, what would that be? I think that would be superhuman strength. I also think it'd be really cool to have the power to remember everything you've ever learned. The biggest misconception about me, I think, in general, at least what I've seen on social media, is that a lot of people think I'm gay. I'm not gay, I'm straight. There's nothing wrong with being gay. I don't have anything against it whatsoever, and I have tons of gay friends, but I personally am not gay. My favorite holiday is Halloween. I think it's an absolute blast getting to dress up and be something that you're not the other 364 days a year. My favorite cheat meal is Chipotle. I love Chipotle burritos. I also love pizza. Even just a classic cheese pizza, that's an amazing cheat meal. My favorite dessert, I have a thing for gummy candy. I love gummy candies. There's this one uncommon one called Mexican Hats. I love those. I love Juji fruits. I love black licorice. I'm one of those freaks, I know. The biggest accomplishment I've achieved in my life, I think, was simply graduating vet school. For me, I love vet school. I knew being a vet was my calling, but it was tough. It was really tough, and I was really proud of myself when I finally graduated. My first kiss, I was like 12 years old, and I kind of had this girlfriend at the time, and we made this plan that we were gonna kiss after school before we got on our different buses to go home for the day. And oh my God, I was so nervous. She went in for it, and I think she was going for a French kiss, and I just wasn't ready for it. So I kind of just gave her this weak little peck on the lips and kind of ran, and I was out of there. So that was probably not the best experience for her, but that was my first kiss. I'm a total mama's boy, very close to my mom. I love my dad too, we're super close too, but you could definitely call me a mama's boy. My favorite band is Metallica. The grossest thing that I see at work, I think one of the grossest would be deobstipating a cat. And for those of you that don't know what that is, that basically means scooping the poop out of a cat's butt. It's a really unfortunate condition when cats need to have that done, but sometimes they do. Some of the older cats, they get certain issues, and it is probably the grossest thing that I could do as a vet, and I do a lot of gross things as a vet. The most underrated sense, in my opinion, as a vet, is your sense of smell. I've diagnosed many things simply from smelling them. There's some clinical illnesses that I can simply walk into an exam room, and before I even look at the pet or talk to the owner, I know, okay, this dog has an abscess or severe dental disease or anal gland issues or something. That sense of smell goes a long way. My favorite toys as a kid and favorite show was definitely Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I absolutely was obsessed with them. I had every figurine I could get. I would save up my allowance to get all the different little layers, like the big blimp and the bad guy globe layer, whatever that was, Shredder's layer, the sewer, I was all about it. Love TMNT. I personally don't have a tattoo, and I don't think I'll ever get a tattoo, but I guess you never know. What is my most unique physical attribute? I would say it's my long arms. They're really, really long. They say your wingspan should be about your height, and my arms belong on somebody that's about 6'9". My zodiac sign is Sagittarius. My birthday is December 12th. What motivates me in getting through tough times is focusing on that light at the end of the tunnel. Knowing what is my end result. I've been in a lot of situations where grinding through tough times, and when I think about, okay, what is this achieving in the end? What am I going to gain from this? What's the goal? That's what helps me get through it. I'm not a big coffee drinker. I never drink it in the morning because it upsets my stomach, but sometimes I'll have it in the afternoon just to kind of pick me up and get me through those last few appointments. How much school did I go through to become a veterinarian? After high school, I went to 4 years of undergrad, and after undergrad, 4 more years of vet school. After that, you are a vet. Some people go on to do internships or specialized internships or residencies and so forth, but I did the 4 undergrad, 4 for vet school. What is the weirdest thing I've ever been asked at work? One time I had just finished euthanizing a pet. It was kind of a sad intense, heavy moment. It was for the pet's best interest, of course, so I felt good about what we did. And pretty much immediately afterwards, the owner had basically told me that she would be a lot happier and feel a lot better if I would just date her daughter. So that was a shocker. What is my craziest animal encounter? Oof, that's a long list. I would say one of the craziest for me was when I was in Indonesia and I got spit in the face by a spitting cobra. I thought that was pretty crazy. That was exciting for me. I kind of loved it, even though it's dangerous, but it was cool. My favorite hobbies are weight training. I love hiking. I love snowboarding. Scuba diving is an amazing thing. And then, of course, traveling. Favorite movies? I love Alien and Aliens. I also love Terminator and Terminator 2. I also love The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. That is a classic. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest is one of my favorites. What is my all-time favorite TV show? Without a doubt, South Park. Grew up on it, still love it, still watch it, always will. What is my biggest turn on? I find when somebody is passionate and is able to incorporate that passion into their life, that's a huge turn on. And it doesn't matter what it is. You know, it could be some sport you're passionate about, or you're passionate about basket weaving, or you're passionate about whatever your career is, whatever it is. If you're passionate about it and it means a lot to you and it's really special to you, and you incorporate that into your life, I think that's amazing, and it's a huge turn. Biggest turn off, I think that would be if you don't like animals. I know that's super cliche coming from a veterinarian, but I think that says a lot about your character and your personality if you have a heart for animals and you love animals. So it's a little strange to me when I've met people that just don't like animals at all. So yeah, not really my type, I guess. What injuries have I had over the years? Well, here's a good one. I broke my collarbone snowboarding when I was 18. I separated this shoulder a couple years later. I've had a little bit of meniscus surgically removed out of both knees. I've had quite a few different bites and lacerations, but in terms of major injuries, those are probably the big ones. Biggest pet peeve? I would have to say that's trusting Dr. Google's medical advice over mine as a veterinarian. And listen, there's a lot of good resources on the internet, and I think you can learn a lot, but you just have to be careful because there's a lot of garbage on the internet. And so tread lightly and definitely trust your local vet. Biggest man crush? I grew up on Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'm kind of still obsessed with him. I love everything about the dude. I love that he had goals for himself. He crushed those goals. I mean, the dude's just a legend, so I have a total man crush on him. Second runner-up, probably Clint Eastwood. That guy's just such a stud. To me, what is the biggest problem in the world? There's a lot of different directions I could go with that, but one I have to say is single-serving plastics. These are horrible. Single-serving knives and forks and packaging and straws. Did you know that over 500 million straws are used and thrown away in the US every day? It's a huge issue. We gotta cut down on the plastic. If I could learn one new skill, I think that would be to play the piano. So maybe one day. What am I least talented at? I would say that's singing. I like to think I'm good at singing when I'm by myself in the car, but other than that, I know I have a horrible singing voice. What is my worst life skill? I would say that is doing things in moderation. I sometimes tend to be a little bit of an extremist, and when I get really focused and stoked on something, I kind of go all out to a fault, maybe sometimes. What is my strongest skill? This might be cliche as a vet, but I really do think I'm extremely good at communicating with animals and getting on their level. What is my favorite asset on a woman? I love nice eyes, nice hair, and nice skin. Do I want kids one day? Yes, not anytime soon, but I absolutely want to be a dad. In vet school, I was voted most likely to leave the surgery operating room to go have a protein shake. Whatever that means. Thanks, guys. My love language, I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, but mine is physical touch and quality time. My favorite alcoholic drink is whiskey. My least favorite alcoholic drink is gin. My favorite chips are Doritos. Those are yummy. My favorite sport to watch is MMA. My secret fantasy would be to shrink down and jump into one of my fish tanks. I've got this really pretty planted tank and it's just got all these plants and fish everywhere, and I just want to shrink down and dive in, and I think that looks really fun. How many languages do I speak? Really, probably just one, unfortunately. I can barely get by with some really hideous Spanish, and that's pretty much it. I hope to be remembered for being a positive face in veterinary medicine and making positive changes towards wildlife conservation. Hope you guys enjoyed learning a little bit more about me. And my question to you is, do you have any more questions for me? Is there anything else you guys would like to know? I'd be happy to share it. I'd be happy to tell you. So just let me know. Put some comments under the comments for this video. Thank you so much for watching and have a wonderful week. And for those of you guys who wanted to see a surgery video this week, I don't want to cut you short. So click on this link. It's a really cool video on when I spayed an iguana. Not something that I do on a very regular basis, but it is a neat procedure and it's quite a bit different than spaying dogs and cats, so I hope you enjoy and just scope that out. See you guys next time.